It's 2:07 in the morning. I'm parked in front of a 24-hour laundromat, wrapped in a hoodie that still smells like him. The back seat of my car is stuffed with garbage bags, my clothes, my shoes, my whole damn life shoved into plastic like it never mattered. A suitcase won't fit when you leave in a panic. Or when you're thrown out. Just 12 hours ago, I had a fiancé. A home. A man who rubbed my back when I had cramps and memorized how I liked my tea. Now, I have nothing. Not even my toothbrush. And all of it, every single piece of my shattered life, traces back to one stupid lie. I told Marcus I was going on a family trip. A girls' weekend with my cousins in Houston. I even faked a group chat. Booked a fake flight. Told him I needed space. In reality, I was on my way to Miami for a $20,000 BBL. Yeah. I know how that sounds. Before you roll your eyes and call me shallow, just listen. You don't understand what it's like to hate your body so much that it eats you alive. To feel invisible next to girls with hourglass curves and perfect skin and the kind of attention you only get when you're Instagram beautiful. I didn't do it for Marcus. Or at least, that's what I told myself. But deep down, maybe I wanted him to look at me like the guys on TikTok looked at those girls. Maybe I was scared that one day, he'd wake up and realize he could do better. And now, he doesn't have to wonder anymore. Because I gave him the perfect excuse to stop loving me. I came back with new curves and a fresh set of scars. And walked into a war I didn't see coming. He didn't yell. Didn't curse. He just stood there, stared at me like I was someone else, and said, "You lied." No dramatic fight. No second chances. Just trash bags. A locked door. And silence. If I had just been honest, maybe I wouldn't be homeless right now. Or maybe I still would be. But with a flat butt and my dignity intact. Marcus was the kind of man I never thought I deserved. He was calm where I was chaotic. Steady where I was anxious. He never made me feel small, even when I was clearly unraveling. I met him at my lowest, 29, in between jobs, barely holding it together after a string of situationships that left me feeling used and invisible. But Marcus saw me. Like, really saw me. He'd remember how I fidgeted with my sleeves when I was nervous. He'd rub my back in slow circles whenever I couldn't sleep. When I cried about my thighs or how flat my butt looked in jeans, he'd kiss my forehead and say, "You're perfect as you are. But if you ever wanted to change anything, do it for you, not for me." That should have been enough. For most women, it probably would be. But I wasn't most women. Not on the inside. Because even when he said those words, I couldn't stop scrolling through my feed at night, staring at influencers with tiny waists and surgically enhanced curves. Girls who looked like walking hourglasses with followers in the hundreds of thousands. The kind of girls Marcus didn't follow, but who always hovered in the back of my mind like a threat. It got worse when my friend Nia got her BBL and came back looking like she was built in a lab. She posted one bikini pic and ended up with 3 brand deals and a rapper in her DMs. "I just feel more confident now," she said casually, sipping on her collagen smoothie. And all I could think was, what if that could be me? That night, I looked up surgeons. 3 weeks later, I booked my consultation. I drained my savings. Took out a loan. Used my tax refund. $20,000, for a body I thought would finally make me feel enough. The only problem? I couldn't tell Marcus. So I lied. I told him my aunt was hosting a girls' weekend in Houston. That I needed some space. Some time with family. He offered to book the ticket for me, said it'd be his treat. I panicked. Told him I already had it handled. He kissed my forehead before I left. Said, "Come back rested, baby." I miss you already. I smiled, nodded, got into my Uber, and flew to Miami instead. It was supposed to be a glow-up. Instead, it blew up everything. The surgery was hell. They don't tell you that on Instagram. They don't show the blood, the drains, the swelling so bad you can't sit down for 2 weeks. They don't show you the panic attacks you have when you wake up and wonder if something went wrong. Or the shame that creeps in when you realize you did this to yourself. But I kept telling myself, it'll all be worth it when Marcus sees me. He's going to lose his mind. I even imagined the way he'd look at me, stunned, maybe even turned on. He'd grab my waist, lift me up, spin me around. We'd laugh about how I surprised him. He'd call me crazy, but kiss me anyway. That's not how it went. I got back a day earlier than I told him. Wanted to be dramatic, show up at the door, bags in hand, new curves under an oversized hoodie. I didn't text. I didn't knock. I just walked in. He was in the kitchen, shirtless, drinking his usual peppermint tea. When he turned around and saw me, he froze. His eyes didn't light up. They didn't scan my new shape with awe. They filled with confusion. Then dread. "What happened to you?" he asked. I laughed nervously. Surprise. He looked me up and down, jaw clenched. "Where were you?" I shrugged. "Houston. Like I told you." He stepped closer. His voice dropped. "You think I'm stupid." And that's when it cracked. I tried to spin it. Told him I did it for us. For our future. For me. That I was tired of feeling invisible. That he should be proud of me. But he didn't yell. He didn't even argue. He just looked at me like I was a stranger and said, "You lied to me. You risked your life. For what? For a bigger ass. You were already enough." I opened my mouth to defend myself, but no words came. Because nothing I said would matter now. That night, he didn't scream. He didn't curse. He just walked past me with this dead look in his eyes, and started packing my things. Garbage bags. No suitcase. One by one, he dropped them by the front door. Then out into the driveway. He didn't even tell me to leave. Just opened the door and stood there, waiting. I begged. Cried. Screamed. Tried to grab his arm, make him look at me, see me. But he didn't flinch. He just said, "You need to go. I can't trust you anymore." Then he shut the door behind him. And this time, he didn't come back out. The first few nights, I stayed with Nia. She acted supportive at first, asked how the surgery went, offered wine, took a few pics for my comeback post. But even she looked uncomfortable. Like she didn't know what to say when I told her Marcus kicked me out. By the 5th night, she said her boyfriend wasn't cool with me staying anymore. I moved on to a coworker's couch. Then another. Eventually, I stopped asking. Now I sleep in my car. Back seat still full of garbage bags. Front seat reclined just enough so I can pretend it's a bed. I keep a gym membership just to shower. My body aches. My back is bruised. My thighs are tight. The BBL is still healing, but I've started to hate it. Men stare. Women whisper. And I feel uglier than I ever did before. Just more visible now. It's funny. The same girls who hyped me up. Yes, girl, get that surgery. They barely text back now. People talk behind my back. She lied to her man just for a fat ass. She thought curves would keep him. She's lucky she's even alive. I used to defend myself in my head. But lately, I just let the shame sit with me. Because the truth is, I didn't do it for me. Not really. I did it because I believed the lie. That being more sexy made you more valuable. That if I looked the part, I'd finally feel worthy. But now I just feel empty. Kavya, sure. But hollow. I haven't heard from Marcus since that night. He didn't block me. Just disappeared. No new posts. No stories. No likes. Just digital silence. Until last week. I was scrolling mindlessly, half hoping, half dreading, and there it was. A tagged photo. Not even from his account. Marcus, smiling. At a rooftop bar. Arm around a woman I'd never seen before. Natural looking. Soft curls. Simple dress. No filters. The caption. Work happy hour with the kindest soul. I stared at the photo for 10 minutes. Not because he moved on. But because she didn't look anything like me. And somehow, that made it hurt so much more. I couldn't stop staring at her. The woman in the photo with Marcus, she didn't look like competition. She looked normal. Soft curls tied loosely at the back. A simple cream dress that hugged her body just enough to show she had curves, real ones. No contour, no corset, no angles. Just her, glowing in golden hour light. Smiling like someone who didn't need to prove a thing. I zoomed in, out, again and again. Who was she? It didn't take long. Her tag led me straight to her profile. Jordan Reese. Marcus' coworker. I remembered her name, barely. They were friendly, but nothing serious. He once mentioned she made killer banana bread and always beat him at chess during lunch breaks. That was it. Until now. I stared at her grid, earthy tones, sunsets, books, homemade pasta. Not a single thirst trap. Just peace. Peace I used to fake for likes. My chest tightened. Without thinking, I opened my messages and typed, "So you moved on real quick, huh?" 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then came back again. Finally, his reply lit up my screen. She's honest. That's all I ever wanted. I didn't cry. I laughed. A bitter, dry kind of laugh that sounded like choking. I imagined texting Jordan. Blaming her. Telling her, he was mine first. You're just the backup. But I didn't. Because I knew that was a lie. I gave him away the moment I chose filters over truth. A bigger ass over deeper connection. I betrayed him before she ever showed up. A few days later, Jordan posted a photo of them, this time holding hands at a farmer's market. In the caption, she wrote, "He told me once, the truth is more beautiful than any filter." I knew I loved him in that moment. That line broke me. Because I remembered the last thing Marcus ever said to me. You were already enough. And now, someone else gets the version of him that used to be mine. Not because she's prettier. Not because she's better. But because she told the truth. I spent $20,000 trying to become the ideal version of myself. And in the process, I lost the one person who actually loved the version I already was. Present day. I work retail now, 10-hour shifts on my feet, folding jeans and pretending I don't hear the teenage girls whispering behind me. I rent a studio apartment the size of a closet. No car. Just a bus pass and a drawer full of takeout napkins. No Marcus. No more lies. Just quiet. My body. Perfect, I guess. At least, that's what strangers say. Men stare all the time now. Double takes. Slow head turns. creepy compliments. But none of them look at me the way Marcus did, like I was a whole person. Not just parts. And it's funny, because this is exactly what I thought I wanted. To feel sexy. Powerful. Desirable. But now that I have it, it feels empty. Like I'm playing a role I auditioned for, got the part, and immediately wanted to quit. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I had just told him the truth. If I'd sat Marcus down and said, I hate my body. I want this surgery. Not because of you, because of me. Because I'm scared I'll never be enough. He might have been angry. He might have begged me not to do it. But he wouldn't have thrown me out for being honest. He would have held me while I cried. But I didn't give him the chance. Because deep down, I didn't believe I deserved that kind of love. So I lied. And now I understand something I wish I'd known before the scars and the silence. Real love doesn't need upgrades. It doesn't need enhancements or surgery or lies. It needs truth. Vulnerability. The kind of courage I never had. I destroyed something real chasing something fake. And now I live with the aftermath of that choice every single day. Not because I got a BBL. But because I believed I wasn't enough without it. Because I looked at the one man who saw me and still chose to become someone else. So here I am. Alone. Still healing. Still learning. And if you're watching this, thinking about changing yourself to keep someone, ask yourself this: would you rather be loved for who you are, or adored for who you pretend to be?